everybody. Thanks for joining us.
I got nothing. Sorry. No idea.
Dave, interrupting my spiel.
I know. I didn't mean to.
At our first episode back in the studio.
And I messed it up.
Welcome back, guys, to Painting Happy Little Minis. I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Dave.
And today we are painting Monsters from Mythic America by Warlord Games. And we are using all VALLEJO paints because today we are sponsored by VALLEJO.
Ooh. Yes. Very cool. Should we show people the monsters?
Da-da-da-da.
Look how big they are.
They're not so many today. They're not very many at all, actually. They're fully figure-sized.
Yes.
But they're very detailed. And, oh, look, there we go.
Super detailed.
And lovely.
Oh. There we go. Look at that. Enormous and frightening. But they are made for 28mm scale.
Oh, wow.
So this is absolutely enormous.
And I know previously we said we were going to paint the opposite.
Yes.
But Dave changed his mind.
I did. I've been thinking about it all week.
You're going to bring the color, bring the whimsy.
Bring the color.
Yeah?
Whimsy, I don't know, but certainly the color. It'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Thank you to everybody joining us in the chat.
Cool.
Hey,
Who do we
Wayne.
have? We have Sumki, we have Josh, we have Wayne, we have Dave, Byron.
Yeah,
Excellent.
quite a few.
Yes. Sumki says it's one of my favorite people in the whole wide chat room.
Wowza, those
Excellent.
are some beefy things. They are really beefy.
They are. They're incredibly huge. But as Gretchen said, these are for Mythic America, which is, I think, launching in January.
Ooh.
From Warlord Games. It's a, as far as I'm aware, it's kind of an add-on to, or an expansion to Warlords of Erewhon, which is their fantasy miniatures game.
I'll cut to your palette if you want to show.
Oh, sure. Whee! And next week, I think we've got... Do we have the author of Mythic America?
Yes.
Joining us on the show? Is that Nelson? Did you say?
Yes.
Excellent.
Nelson will hopefully be joining us next week.
Fantastic.
You're remembering.
I am remembering. It's all coming back.
Definitely not the bird in your ear.
No, well, it was that thing.
The bug in your ear.
I think Leona finally realized that I was going, huh? Pardon? What?
Yeah,
And she
sorry.
Switched on her microphone. So everybody can hear her now. Yes. Dave says, Kat says hi. Dave is loving the hair, Gretchen. Dave is due for a re-dye
Bright
soon.
color. So am I. My roots are coming in. Soon you'll be able to tell I'm secretly blonde.
Roger says hi. Hey, and Josh Potter says spider legs on a Quetzalcoatl takes scary to creepy and interesting.
You know, I'm so glad you switched them because now I don't have to try to pronounce that.
Quetzalcoatl.
Every time I stumble, I try so hard.
Every time I say it, I hope I got it right.
I'm
So I think
gonna say you did.
Doing okay.
It sounds
Doing
right.
okay. But yes, so I think that I'm going to go for a primarily sort of red body, sort of for the snake body part. Greenish feathers up the top here, and for the wings, I'm going to move, sort of try and transition across from red through the rainbow of colors to purple on the edges.
I think that'll look nice.
So
I
it
think
should
that'll be the most colorful thing you've ever painted on this show.
quite possibly. Quite possibly. There was that one time I painted a unicorn.
True.
Yes.
I think I'm
to go
gonna
back and find
go
that.
with very muted, soft colors for
Yeah.
this, with maybe some kind of blues, with the fur bits, like very
Yeah.
light blue kind of. Like
Okay.
very ethereal. I want natural colors, but I want him to still read as an unnatural creature,
Sure.
if that makes sense.
Yep.
I feel like it does.
I think it'd be pretty neat if I was thinking about it, if you did something that made it look like it was in like moonlight.
Ooh, yeah.
That could be interesting.
That could be really nice.
Either that or
Thoughts?
the ethereal thoughts. Yeah. Cool. Zabiram's here. G'day. David, doesn't matter if you say it right or not. You say it with such conviction. It does matter. And I hope I get it right. Jeff says hi, and Byron says its chest is usually white. Is that Quetzalcoatl's chest? If so,
No, I think it's the Wendigo.
the Wendigo?
Yeah, I think it's the Wendigo.
Okay, Wendigo.
We'll keep it creamy.
Okay.
We'll keep it good. But yeah, so
Should we just jump in?
I
and
think
get
we
started?
should. We're gonna paint some American folklore,
Yeah, so we did
Yeah.
just American folklore.
legendary creatures.
Legendary creatures.
And while we're painting, Leona's gonna post up some charities because these are both creatures from indigenous cultures, and I figured since had been celebrating Thanksgiving and it's also Indigenous Peoples Day, and then now we are painting creatures from those cultures, it would be a wonderful and nice thing to do. So
Yep.
Leona's going to post those up, and she's also going to post them up in the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook page.
Excellent. So there we go. Just look at those. Yeah. Excellent.
I'm also going to post up, you can see it on Dave's face.
Check it out.
I also posted up some articles about the monsters if you're interested in learning more about them, because they are pretty interesting. The Wendigo, or I don't know the exact pronunciation on that word, but that's a northern monster, and then the Quetzalcoatl is this is from the south,
The Mesoamerican.
north of
Yep.
the Americas. So
Yeah.
yeah, Mesoamerica.
Mesoamerica.
So
Yep.
yeah, those links are up in the chat. They'll be up on our page, and you can learn more about the creatures as well as support a good cause.
That would be awesome. But yes, speaking of holidays, we weren't on last week because we were all staying at home,
Delicious food. Said enjoying delicious food.
enjoying delicious
Also
food.
staying home, but
Yes. Staying at home, enjoying delicious food. What kind of delicious food did you have?
well, we have I think I've talked before that we've been doing quarantine with a small pod of neighbors.
Right.
So that if one of us needs help with something, we're able to do that without kind of everyone getting cooties.
Yep.
So we kept to that very small group of people. Literally, it was just us and one other household, and we had a very small Thanksgiving, and our friend made a turkey, and it was lovely and delicious and good, and then I took home the leftover turkey, and I made a gumbo the next day,
Oh, cool.
which was my first time making my own gumbo,
Right.
since I wasn't able to be with my mom or anybody else to make it.
Right.
And it turned out really well. I was very proud of myself. I didn't have a recipe. I only had the memories of times past.
I think there was this in it.
But it turned out very well.
Excellent. I like gumbos. Definitely very good.
Chris, I have a comic dinosaur themed dress on. You are absolutely correct.
Yes.
And you can tell that just from the straps. That's amazing. I believe I've worn it on the show once or twice before.
And to be fair, like when it's the double shot of you and Dave, like the interview kind of style.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can- you can see it a
actually
lot
the top
easier.
part of it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
comic book dinosaurs.
Of course. We would not expect anything less.
They're the safest kind of dinosaurs, I find.
The comic book one.
Comic book ones.
Listen, I was so sad. I found out that all of the sources that I had been looking at to see if I qualified for having backyard chickens
Yep.
were for Baltimore City.
Oh.
And I am like 3 streets out of the city and in Baltimore County, which is the only county that can't have backyard chickens on less than an acre of land. All the other counties surrounding it would let me have chickens.
Oh.
Unless I heard that I can go get like special permission, but it's like a couple $100s.
Ask if you can have small dinosaurs in your backyard.
That's what made me think of it. I was like, the closest thing I could ever have to a dinosaur. And I was denied.
But if you ask them if you can have dinosaurs, maybe they don't have regulations against keeping dinosaurs.
Maybe. It might. Their
Go for that.
regulations for chickens in the county were under, like, rodent problems. So I don't even know where I would.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Move 3 streets over towards the city, and you can have some.
No, next time I move, I'm planning to move to a couple of acres of land. So.
Okay. So you can have chickens?
Well, so I can have horses, and goats, but also chickens.
But also chickens. Okay, cool.
Also,
That's
I want to
good.
shout out Dave Schrumpf. He said last week he got a lot of painting done for once
Excellent.
since he was off work and away from the computer.
Very cool.
Jess says, "Bok bok."
Jess is a friend of mine who has chickens and knows my
Yes.
my need
Your
of
desire.
chickens.
Excellent. Speaking of chickens, so for Thanksgiving,
Did he make a chicken instead of a turkey?
no, we made turkey. We had turkey, but I made a corn pudding.
Of course.
Yeah, were we talking about corn pudding before?
We
Thanksgiving?
did.
I think we, okay.
I don't know if it was on the show, but you and I talked about it.
Yeah, corn pudding is amazing.
We know you have many feelings about corn pudding.
Yes, I do have all the feels about
My
corn
takeaway
pudding.
was Dave loves corn pudding.
I'm telling you,
In case you guys didn't know.
if this is news. So I made one for the first time, and it was from my sister-in-law's recipe. My wife sent me a photo.
Oh, Kat says it was on the show, so the people know.
Okay. Everybody knows. Great.
It's very important that you know about his love of corn pudding.
Sorry,
I
Dave.
wouldn't say it's very important. It's mildly important. It's in the top 5. But so she sent me the recipe card, and it was handwritten. It was a handwritten recipe card, and the writing was very stylized.
Oh no.
I'm not going to say it was terrible, which would kind of suggest it was all over the place, but no, it was just very particularly stylized, and it's very slanted and spiky. So it was a little tough to read through it. And I'm going to blame that for my failure to include the eggs in the mix. I put everything else in,
Oh no.
and it all goes in the blender for 10 seconds, right, before being poured into a baking dish.
Okay.
So I put it in the blender and then poured it into the baking dish and popped it in the oven for 45 minutes. And then, of course, everything else is ready. And we're looking at it and it's like, that doesn't look ready. Let's poke that. No, it's not. It's not becoming firm or anything like that. This is kind of ridiculous. What's going on? Yeah. It was only about 15 minutes later, so it had been in there for an hour, that I realized, oh, I forgot the eggs. But of course, the great thing is that it's like corn, eggs, flour, sugar, salt, butter.
So it's
kind
not
of-
bad without the eggs.
Well, and it's just very quick to make again. Well, reasonably quick to make it
true.
again.
Yeah.
So the
There's
eggs
not
would
like
be
special ingredients.
What would give it that kind of custardy?
Kat
Yeah,
says, "You forgot the eggs? How is that possible? It's like leaving the house and forgetting to put on pants."
I'm not going to say that I've done that before, but yeah, no, it's like that's kind of ridiculous. But I blame the particular handwriting. That's my
That makes sense.
that's my escape there. Yeah, so what I did was I just cracked a couple of eggs into a bowl, whisked them up, and then stirred it very quickly through the.
Some
hot
key
pudding.
says, "I'm sure it was excellent."
It was indeed excellent. Eventually, it was excellent. But so I had some on the day, and we had leftovers, and my wife ate the rest of the corn pudding leftovers. So it must have been all right. That's all I can say. Eventually it was fine.
That's so cool.
How about you, Leona? What was your favorite dish from Thanksgiving?
From this Thanksgiving,
Let's start with this Thanksgiving, and then we'll work back.
and then we'll work back to the past.
We all know
How about
how
last
much
year?
you come to the show for painting minis, but you stay because we talk about food all the time.
I do want to say real quick that Richard says that chickens are mini raptors, and yes, I think that's what Gretchen was going for.
Uh-huh.
If you had the chickens, you would have a dino.
Yep. Clever girl.
So this year, my favorite dish was sweet potatoes that we put marshmallows on top, and then we bake, and so then the marshmallows become all melty, and sweet potatoes are delicious. So
I do love sweet potatoes.
that was, but I also kind of love every side dish. So this year, for my family, we made there were only 6 of us eating together. And I think we've had 9 side dishes.
Right. Yep.
Because we love sides. And we also didn't want to cook for we didn't cook for at least 2 days
Yeah.
after that. So anything that's a
Excellent.
side is probably my favorite of Thanksgiving.
I need to ask you guys. So obviously you did the gumbo, but did either of you try the stuffing waffles?
No.
No, I didn't. I should have.
Did you completely forget? You forgot?
I forgot.
Boo. Boo.
I was too excited to make gumbo.
Also, shout out to the chat for constant egg puns we have. I'm sure there wasn't any extra left for Dave.
And also, Richard, yes, I have seen the raptor arms you can 3D print for chickens.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw those the weekend too. Yes. There wasn't any extra left for Dave. And Dave realized he missed an ingredient. There was egg on his face. There was no egg anywhere, Sumky. It was disappointing. But yes.
So real quick with the miniatures,
Yep.
Gretchen, what color are you starting off with?
I'm starting off with light green blue. And I'm using that as kind of a medium color, and then I'm probably going to dry brush a ivory on top of that to bring it up and make it look kind of like ethereal, white, spirity kind of.
Cool.
And then I'll probably
look good.
use the smoke on his skin, because I think that dark, cool brown will look really nice with it.
I agree. I concur.
And Dave, how about you?
I'm starting with burnt red from the model color range, VALLEJO model color range. So I'm just doing that over the entirety of the sort of snake body and the legs. And then I'll get in with some dry brushing with bloody red from the game color range. So these are huge models, and while we would be normally tempted to rush ahead with them, we're going to take our time on these and get them
Make
right.
them look nice.
Give us just make sure we aren't doing them a disservice by rushing too much. So
Yeah,
we'll
so-
be working on these for.
Yep. Sorry.
You know, no worries, go for it. What were you
I
going
was
to say?
just going to say we're going to have these for a multi-week project. So make sure you tune in during December to kind of see how these get painted
How these progress.
over the course of a couple weeks.
Yeah. I think that'll be good. I must admit I kind of forgot that when I was getting the paints out of my box, because I lined up all of the paints right here.
Well, you never know what you'll
What
you'll
a-
end up getting done.
Yeah, that's true.
Some things could move faster than you think they do.
That's true. But I think with this one as well, I'm going to try a few of the VALLEJO colors that I don't usually use. So I have I've pulled out some of the burnt umber.
Oh, nice.
The burnt umber wash there. And when I get to the feathers up on the head, I'm going to start with the heavy green from the extra opaque range of game
No
color.
shifters?
Hmm?
No shifters?
No shifters, no. No, I didn't.
Yeah, I was
Not-
wondering, Gretchen, are you going to use the shifters?
No.
I don't know. I don't think I will for this guy. Depends.
Maybe for his eyes
Yeah.
or his
Okay.
nails, his claws.
But yeah, I think if I'm going to go, as we said before, when he was saying, "Oh, so much whimsy," and it's like, no, not a lot of whimsy, just enough,
Just enough whimsy?
just enough to confuse people and think, "Is that Dave's? Did Dave paint that? I don't think so." It's a little too whimsical for Dave. But then again, they won't think that you painted it because there was not enough whimsy. But I think it'll be good. But I saw somebody in there in the chat. I think it was Byron mentioned popcorn and toast. On Saturday night, my daughters treated my wife and I to a night at the movies.
Oh.
Yeah. But it wasn't, we didn't leave our house for it. It was all in the living room, but we had to hide away in our bedroom for a little while the girls got everything ready. And we were handed...
That's adorable.
Yeah, we were each handed a ticket with perforations down the middle.
Also very cute.
And sort of rectangular pieces of cardboard that had our name and a number on it. They were our credit cards.
Oh.
So that when they were ready, we sort of came out of the room, and at the top of the stairs, my oldest daughter was there taking tickets and like tearing them in half and putting one half into a little container and showing us the seating plan, so we could decide on where we wanted to sit. And then when we walked down the stairs, my youngest daughter had the coffee table set up with bags of popcorn and butter and salt and cinnamon sugar.
That's really cute.
Yeah, it was great. But
I
and it
keep
was all
saying
done
that
like
because it's honestly adorable.
it was totally adorable. The best part is it wasn't just like the coffee table with that stuff on it. It was the coffee table, and they turned out or lowered the lights, and they had desk lamps, like shining down on the like heat lamps on the popcorn. It was amazing. It was really cool.
That's very creative.
Yeah,
That's so creative. Oh my gosh.
they did a great job. It was really nice, and we watched Finding Dory.
Good. That's a good one.
I say we watched. They watched Finding Dory.
Oh,
Did you-
that
I fell
reminds
asleep.
me of a thing. I finally started watching The Mandalorian.
Oh, all right, great.
At Disney. Yeah.
Excellent.
So, yeah, we started watching it. I was supposed to watch it with the boyfriend, and he watched ahead of me. And then I was like, no. And yeah, so made it happen. Hi, new people who are joining the stream. I can't see all of you because some of you are just under Facebook user. Oops, not dragons. You're right. It's not dragons. We are painting monsters from Mythic America by Warlord Games.
I have a Quetzalcoatl.
And I have a Wendigo. And we are swapping. I'm doing more of a soft color palette this time, and Dave is being the colorful one.
It doesn't look particularly colorful at the moment.
Not yet, but yes.
It's gonna get there.
Chris, we are. He is going to do the rainbow wings.
Yep.
Wing
Oh,
wings.
really?
I
I
can,
wasn't
I
sure
can
about
speak
that.
words.
Yeah.
Um,
I think when I get to working on those, I'm going to start by painting the yellow in the middle and then work either direction.
so
Basically lay down that the brightest color first, and then work my way out.
Yes, some key says it's a very bright brown for Dave.
This is the brightest brown I've used. No, that's a lie. I have a brown that is one brighter than this. I'll get there. I'll get there. Don't rush me.
One day I'm going to swap out all your paints with glitter.
With glitter paints. I wonder what'll happen. How will I react?
He'll just disappear.
Yes. If I discover it on camera, I think I'll probably be fairly reasonable. Just because I'm a professional. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just panic.
For those of you watching, let us know what you guys have been painting.
Yeah.
In the chat, we would love to know if anyone got some painting done over the, well, USA holiday.
Yep.
Some people didn't have a holiday. That's fine.
And again, Leona is putting up links to charities for Indigenous and Native people because over Thanksgiving is also Indigenous Peoples Day, and it's a shout out to the cultures from which these two creatures come from.
Yep. You're just going to work out all sorts of ways to not say Quetzalcoatl, right?
Yep. I practiced at home.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if I practice a lot more, I will get there. But that day was not today.
Not today.
I've learned quite a bit of Spanish, and for the most part, I'm pretty good at pronunciation. But occasionally, I just stumble over my words too much. I do that in English all the time too, but in Spanish it makes it worse. And yeah. I can't roll my R's either, which was a problem.
Right.
I can get very close, but I can't quite get it right. Thankfully, when I've spoken with other Spanish speakers, they've been very kind to me and my almost there pronunciation.
Almost. So when I put it down, I got the great camera angle turn down on it where I could see, oh, I missed a spot here or I missed a spot there. So I'm just going to touch up some of those. First, get those things done. There's a lot of texture, so much texture on this model. It is amazing.
Yeah, I think this is really going to look nice once I dry brush it up.
Yeah.
Might add a little bit of shadows first before I do that. But first, I think I'm going to try to get all the base colors down since we have the time.
Yeah.
For those of you who weren't in the chat earlier, this is going to be a multi-week project since they're big. We're not going to be speed painting them.
Yeah. They're not just big, they're huge. Huge. So, but I think that while I let some of this dry, maybe it is time to have a look at some minis.
Some minis from the group?
Can we do that?
Sure.
Sure.
Sorry, everyone.
Cool.
My audio was not on for a moment. Real quick, I just want to shout out in the chat, Roger Moore said he's going to start some stuff from Monumental, starting with the buildings first. Kickstarter game that delivered this year. Very nice.
Excellent.
Josh Potter has been painting some new things for the new line of Ral Partha.
Enough said for now. More to come.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh is teasing us.
Dun dun dun. I mean, is that the right music? No. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know.
I don't know.
Lava Painter has more Monster Apocalypse,
Yep.
which is awesome. And Richard is planning a paint scheme for the Mariluk Queen.
Cool. And Facebook user didn't post this week. Boo.
Boo. But we'll see people who did post this week.
We will. Let's have a look at them.
All right, here we go. Here we go, folks.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
Ayumi
amazing.
with
Yeah.
another completed monster from my Monster Apocalypse collection.
Yep. Fantastic.
Ayumi also won our November.
Yeah, and I saw
Giveaway?
that on the. You
So
posted
those
that
dragons
yesterday,
are
didn't you?
coming your way today. They just got sent off.
Fantastic. No, that looks amazing. So many colors. Perhaps this Quetzalcoatl can look like Ayumi's.
I
Finished piece, do
love
you
the
think?
stained glass effect.
Yeah, it is cool, isn't it?
That's not something you see often either.
No, you don't see it very often at all. But no, it looks great, and I think on the mini though, the use of those neon colors is really well done. But no, fantastic, and connects really well with the smaller vehicles down the bottom. Nice work, Ayumi. Looks great. Oh, Brian is painted up. Oh, his little giant clan is growing. I think when we last saw them, they had the two at the back finished, completed.
They've
there.
had a son.
They have. They have.
I don't know how that works with rock giants. I just assume they collected some boulders and
Yes.
thus he was made.
some smaller, more malleable boulders.
Just break off a chunk and
Yep.
stick it on.
Is that where you chip off the old block?
Yeah, there you go.
Could be. Sorry, Slumkey. But yeah, no, they're looking great. I'm really enjoying Brian's work on these. They're such fun characters. And oh, actually, sorry, if you can go back just for a sec, Leona. I'm particularly liking the use of the lichen. You can see on the new one at the front, the younger one is less weathered and dark, and so there's like the eyebrows there and the beard, they've got that vibrancy to them. But yeah, nice work, Brian. Looking good. Some key says, "Hey, anyone is allowed to rock the puns." Nice one. Okay, Chris Gawker's painted it's got a converted Space Wolves in curses. These are from the in curses. Are they in curses? I don't think these ones are in curses. I don't. Not sure, but they.
Well, that's what he had on his description.
Did he have a number of different photos?
Dang it. Possibly.
No worries, Luna. Possibly, but no, these
help
looking.
a girl out and label your photos.
I could be totally wrong as well, because I'm not sure what incurses are. But
Yeah, I agree with Dave. Chris's minis always look so dang clean.
yep, they do. And Chris does one thing where there's a lot of he has a lot of, or typically a lot of very neutral kind of colors or slightly desaturated colors, and obviously in with these guys with the gray armor, that's the neutral desaturated, but he always has a pop of a very bright, vibrant color, and in this case it's the yellow. But yeah, very very classic Chris Gawker painting
Looking
style.
good.
Yep, nice work, Chris.
Clive
Clive
Mills
Mills.
with the dragon.
Yep, there's a white dragon, frost dragon, something like that.
Ooh.
But yeah, looking really nice.
I love how dark in between the scales gets.
Yeah, definitely.
It almost has an articulated feel to it.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely really nice. They're very cool, and I think I really like that the tongue has that sort of bright pink, brings some warmth back into the whole model. But yeah, nice work, Clive. Looks great.
Dave Schrumpf, my favorite Thanksgiving dish. Earth elementals, 2 ways.
Yep. These are looking very cool. And again, just like Brian's rock giants, the use of the lichen on there. I say lichen. Do you say lichen or lichen? Some
Lichen.
people say lichen.
Lichen
Lichen,
makes
okay.
me think of werewolves.
Okay. Yeah.
No, it's definitely lichen.
Okay.
I mean, regardless.
But I guess Lycan could also be.
I
lichen.
would just call it shrubbery. I don't call
Shrubbery.
it by its actual name. I'm just like, there's some.
Bring me another shrubbery.
Some key says, I'm liking it either way.
Hey, nice work.
But
But yeah. But I'm really enjoying these, and particularly I think my favorite thing for these, Dave, is that the crystals. You've worked very hard to make sure that the crystals have a different textural feel to the stone.
they look glossy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So
just beyond shiny.
yeah. But you've got that reverse. Kind of the highlighting is working in the opposite direction for the crystals, which looks great. And yeah, just nice work all around, Dave. Good one. Oh,
David?
David Brummerstead. Looking very cool. This is an old Minotaur. It's looking great.
On the page, he was asking for comments and
Criticism.
criticism.
I just completely apart from your painting, I do really like that it's mounted on a Coke can. I expect that there's a big blob of putty underneath there, holding it on.
Also good for scale.
But I think one of the things that's confusing me a little bit, David, is with your basing. Your basing looks fantastic, but that green tree in the middle kind of looks like a full-size tree with some
Yeah.
bushes around it.
Kind
You're
of.
So it's like it
I
kind of
didn't
looks
even
like that.
pay attention to that. I was like, it's a shrubbery. We were just speaking of shrubs,
Again,
and
more
here they are.
shrubberies.
Delightful.
But, yeah, which would make that Minotaur huge. But no, it is looking good.
And that dog really big, too.
Yeah, yeah. But it looks fantastic. I really enjoy enjoying the fur on the dog as well. Just the little lighter edges to the fur. Looking very cool. But no, I think it looks nice. I think if I was to suggest anything, it might be that the wrapping on the handle or the haft of the axe there is very similar to the shade on the hand, on the Minotaur's
you're
right hand.
right.
So I'd probably try and break that up a little bit. Maybe with starting with black and working with like a green or a blue in there, just to highlight it with a green or a blue. But doesn't need to be too bright. Just needs to be different to the hand. Josh says trees are all sizes. Might be a sapling.
Fair.
This is true.
Or it's a giant minotaur.
Yeah, it could be that. I like the idea of it being a giant minotaur, to be honest. But
Yes.
I think Dave's done a great job as well with just the variety of textures in there. Nice work.
All right.
Oh.
Good one. Sorry. I'm reading the chat.
Right.
The chat is distracting me.
Yes, Joshua. You do not want to meet
It's
a
not a
giant
good
minotaur
encounter.
and a giant dog.
Giant Minotaur walking his giant dog.
Yep.
All right, Jason. I'm wondering what tips you guys have.
Yeah, I saw this go up in the group, and there were some great tips. But I think the strongest one was the shading is possibly too heavy for that yellow. It's almost like yellow through to black is very intense, and I think it's muddying some of the yellow a little bit. So I'd work with in future, work with a brown or like a mid-brown, or start off with that. But to work with this one, mix some of that yellow into the black or the brown that you've used, the dark brown there, to, I guess, fill in the in-between areas.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of highlighting, but not going back and highlighting all of it. Just working between that yellow that you've got at the highlights and the dark black brown that you've got for the shading. So working in between those two. That would be my suggestion there.
Yeah, Josh
But,
says, I feel like you need the yellow underneath and let it show through the black. Which I feel like is
Okay.
kind of what you're saying. To add yellow to the black areas.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, exactly. So just softening up the shading, I guess, a little bit. But
Nice.
yeah. Nice work, Jason. Coming along.
Jason,
Oh.
another Jason with
Yep.
some also more advice. I put these in here because I wanted to show that in the group, like, you can post and ask people for comments and criticism, and there's lots of people with different experience, so
Yep.
we can talk about it on the show, but also, like, people do comment and
Yeah.
help out when you need it.
Exactly.
We're a community.
Yes, we are indeed. Yeah, I saw. I was about to go in and post on this one, and I checked the comments first, and there were a couple of comments that were like, "Oh, yep, that's exactly what I would have said." So I didn't. But I think Bobby Stickle commented on this one. Bobby is a huge avian enthusiast, so he suggested like a sepia kind
Okay.
of look, thinned down quite a lot, so that you still got a lot of that white showing through. But yeah, something like that. I would have
I
personally
agree with
suggested
Josh in the chat of a very light blue or gray wash
yeah,
to keep
I
those
would've-
cool tones.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with that, Josh. But as soon as I saw Bobby say brown, I was thinking he knows what he's talking about. So for a realistic look, kind of look,
Right, like a
It
real
would've,
snow.
yeah, a real snowy owl, or that sort of thing. But yeah, if it doesn't need to be super realistic, the blue or the gray will help give that a very cold, frosty feel. But yeah, going along and painting those the tips of those feathers with the black, that would have taken a long time, Jason. So kudos for that. It looks great.
Jody with a few minis for a bud to use in his
Erewhon.
Erewhon armies.
Erewhon armies. So Warlords of Erewhon. The cool thing there is on the left is Joseph Bugmundson. So in Warhammer Fantasy, in the world that was, the old world, there was a dwarf character called Joseph Bugman, who was a famous brewer, and he sold his ales and beers across the old world. And this so Warhammer Age of Sigmar is set many thousands of years after that, but apparently Joseph Bugman and his offspring survived, made it through, and this is a distant
Relative? Cousin?
relative, a distant relative, I guess. Descendant. That's the word I was
Descendant.
looking for. Thank you very much. I was going to say ancestor, but that would have been the other way around, working the other way back. But yeah, this is a distant descendant of
That's
Joseph Bugman.
hilarious.
So he is there with his tankard of ale, sloshing over. It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
Jody sent an
Joshua
extra one.
commented on the purple on the iron or on the
Right.
handle.
All right. Yep. On the, I guess on the handle of the axe, the wrapping around there. Where is it? Yep. It is. It does look great, doesn't it? That little blue tinge to the steel or the iron. Yeah. Really nice work, Jody.
Yeah, Jody
Looks
does
great.
some really nice work.
Yep. Definitely.
Joshua?
Josh. Oh, look at that.
Minotaur
go.
Labyrinth Guardian Frost version.
Yep, this is looking cool. That work on the blade there, Josh, is very cool. That looks awesome. Awesome. But I am enjoying the.
Do you know where this mini's from?
I don't, but Josh was in. He's like, oh, I did post something. Yeah, Josh, where's the mini from? Who makes this mini? But I was gonna say, I love the bits of gold picked out. So the skulls on the blade, on the knees, on the shoulder there, holding the shoulder pads on.
It's all very well balanced, too.
That little flapping of the wings just to indicate that there was something on top of my shoulders. But yeah, looking good. Nolzers. Okay, so it's Nolzers Marvelous Miniatures. But yeah, I'm really loving my favorite thing is that the kind of the flames coming off that magical sword. Nice work. Is that some athematic blue over silver on the blade there? I'm gonna ask. But yeah, looks excellent. Josh Potter says Bugman's brew is no mere ale, it is a healthful elixir providing strength to the weak and vitality to the exhausted. It's true.
All
Totally
contrast.
All contrast. Yeah, yeah. Yep, nice one.
And that is all we'll look at for now.
Okay.
So
Cool
we'll jump to Gretchen to tell us what she's doing
more
right now.
colors. If I turn him on his back, you can see how the colors are interacting more. So nice dark. That's that smoke color. I think once I get shadows and highlights on there, that'll look really nice.
Yeah. I think it's looking good. What color are you using for that?
That is smoke.
Oh, just like straight up.
Yep, just straight up smoke.
Nice.
Because I wanted to keep it super thin, and you can still see all of the like marks and
Yep.
veins and
All the texture.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's looking good. Very
I'm gonna jump over to you, Dave.
Huh? Oh, okay. So now I have some of the bloody red. I can start to dry brush on the scales here. I'm not going to have a big transition along these scales, but I am going to work up towards like an orange at the end of the tail here. Let me get that in the right spot. Let's see if I can dry brush upside down.
It's okay. You don't have to keep it.
But yeah, so that's, as I said, with all of that texture on there, it's catching really well with the dry brushing. So yeah, I think with texture, there are two main ways that I always recommend approaching it. One is dry brushing, and the other is washing, or like thin washes for shading. It's just so much easier than going along and highlighting each individual piece. It would take forever. And highlighting them, you'll have more control. You'll be able to get sort of the specific colors in exactly the right places, but it would just take a lot longer. So I think you're always, well, I know I'm always balancing that when I'm painting, particularly if I'm painting miniatures for an army or for gaming or whatever. It's how much time do I spend on each element, and are there places I can save some time by using dry brushing or shading. So.
Question from the chat.
Yep.
Jess is wondering, why does the winged snake have creepy centipede legs?
I'm not 100% sure.
That's a question for the show whenever we have
So we have Nelson.
Nelson on.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
So
are design questions.
I think that'll be a next week question. will be able to answer that for you. Well,
It's
Nelson
partly
will be able to answer
because the monster is a mix of a bird and a rattlesnake. But
That
wait,
didn't answer the bug
that
part.
didn't
that.
answer
That is,
my.
yeah, that doesn't answer the. Yeah. Yeah.
Never mind.
Jess, you're a historian. You went to school for archaeology.
Yeah, I know.
You're supposed to answer these questions,
I'm
Jess.
supposed to know all about the myth. But it is actually, you're right, it is a design question that we can ask next week because some of them are just serpents. Some of the Quetzalcoatl like interpretations are just serpents. So it would be interesting to see why he has the ant legs.
I think there's I suspect it might be because as well it's an opportunity to create something a little different that's specific to the game.
Oh, fair. Right.
So just an opportunity to it does add an extra sort of nightmare fuel element.
Yeah, Josh
it-
says to make it creepy.
Yes, definitely. That's why the creepy centipede legs for sure. So, yeah, we'll be able to ask Nelson. We should probably prepare him and say we'll be asking about this. We're not going to focus on it for the entire show, but
The people want answers.
people want answers.
And they might be there next week.
Yeah. So, but we will ask that.
I'll make sure he knows.
Yeah. But it could be that there's an opportunity to A, make it creepier, and B, make it particular to Mythic America.
That makes sense.
So,
Dave, did you want to talk a little bit about the construction or assembling
oh yeah.
of the
Yeah,
minis?
I can do that for sure. The I think the Wendigo was fairly straightforward. It's probably had maybe 7 or 8 parts. The 2 arms are separate. That's the torso. The head itself was separate. The horns were separate. I think the legs were actually no. The legs were 2 pieces. They joined at the pelvis, and then they went. Then they were both attached to the base. There, and then there's the kind of the braid coming down out of the hair there, which was 1 piece. So that all went together fairly straightforwardly. All the pieces kind of went where you would expect them to go. The fun one with the Quetzalcoatl is was the legs actually, because there are, what are they, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs aside, like per side, so 16 legs total. Each of them comes with a sculpted on tab that says like R1, R2, R3, or L1, L2, L3, that sort of thing through to 8. But the important thing to use when, or that Warlord have put in there to make it easier, when you attach them, there are, well, basically the ends of the legs that go into the sockets on the body are keyed in a certain way. So when I say that, I'm just going to grab a brush, and if you can zoom in on kind of this area. So the one of the legs might have a little resin kind of crossed like that, and then the socket will have the corresponding shaped hole, or it might have been a triangle, or it might have been like one of them was a quarter circle. One of them was a semicircle. So having those on the ends of the legs and the corresponding holes in the sockets means that it was very easy, super easy to work out which one's plugged in where, which really helped the assembly there. One important thing I will recommend is the smaller legs that are kind of underneath the larger legs. Put the smaller legs in first. I started with putting the large legs in so that it meant that it was very tough for a couple of them to sort of get my hand in there and put the slide the leg in. So that's just a recommendation for this, but it was very very neat the way that they've done that to just to make it easier for everybody. That red is starting to come up, which is good. I think I'm just going to do it a little bit heavier on the end of the tail here. So we're doing a heavier overbrush here. My brush isn't as dry as it was. There's a little bit more paint on there. What that does is it helps that sort of push that down into the crevices there. So I want it to be more of a bright red than the darker sort of brown red on the rest of it. So I'll carry that a little bit further up the body here.
Almost done with my brown.
Hmm?
Almost done with my brown.
Nice.
Yeah, so I feel like today is just like laying the base colors.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd one because I was like, I'm not sure how long it's going to take us.
We're so used to speed painting.
Yeah,
I feel
so
like
let's
it'll be
just-
quicker than we think because we're going to be like conditioned subconsciously to paint as fast as possible.
We just can't slow down.
You can't stop, you know.
Can't stop, won't stop. So that's looking a bit brighter there at the back rather than sort of a bit brighter than the front. I might do a little bit of overbrushing on the front as well, just so that that chest area looks a bit lighter and brighter. But I think that's going to be one of the other interesting parts to see how people tackle these minis when they're out in the wild.
When do they go out in the wild, Dave?
They go out in the wild in January, as far as I'm aware. They're not going to be released. There isn't going to be a big sort of release. Like, we've assembled them all and painted them, and now we release them into the wild.
You have to find them. Good luck. Wouldn't that be a fun game? Kind of like those whenever you hide rocks, painted rocks.
Right.
Just go around and like, I would do that at a convention.
Sure.
Like in a contained setting. I would hide minis and just be like, find them. Can you find them all? Like a Pokemon hunt.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind for the next convention, guys. Gretchen might hide minis.
But yeah, I think obviously there's lots of imagery for all of these about that's been created over the years with different looks. And Chris mentioned the rainbow wings on the Quetzalcoatl, but because people are going to be able to do whatever they like with them, there's a lot of flexibility. I think it's going to be very interesting to see where people take them, painting wise, rather than taking them to their local store or to the top of a mountain, or that kind of thing.
I would be interested if you took your mini to the top of a mountain and took a selfie.
How about to the top of a pyramid?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I just looked up on the Warlord site,
Yep.
and they actually have 2 different versions of the Quetzalcoatl. They have 2 different paint schemes
Okay.
on here, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
One of them is like warmer colors, and the other one is cooler.
Right.
But they actually painted the lizard skin part green for both
Oh,
of
this
them.
this part.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. So I'm already switching things up.
Which is cool.
That's because I don't pay attention.
I didn't look at anything. I just started painting.
Yep.
I never look at anything. I just wing it.
Reference material be damned.
Apparently Nathan Fillion does that in Vancouver. The rocks are the hiding minis, because I could see him doing both. I have someone, my friend does it with the rocks, and there's someone in my neighborhood who does it with the rocks as well, and I'll find them as I'm jogging. Be a really fun convention idea. I would put things on them so you'd know they were mine, though.
Sure.
Not just glitter. Almost like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah. That would be good. Notice on there, Chris asked, Dave, are you going to fill the gap in at the head, neck at the back, looking at this line here? Yes, Chris, I am. I forgot. That's just really what it is. I forgot that. I'm also going to fill the gaps at the back of on Gretchen's model where the arms sort of tuck into the sockets there. I forgot. My apologies. But we'll get that done. It'll be all good.
That orange really is coming along. So that orange is really coming along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost makes it look like it has like, I mean, I'm sure like wet paint also has a shine, but the way the highlights are going.
Right. It's probably mainly the wet paint. No,
We'll
just
see.
kidding. We'll see. We'll see where it ends up. But I think it's looking pretty good. How's it looking on the front? Yeah, I'm liking that. So with this one, while Gretchen's going through and doing all of doing the base colors across all of it, I'm just working on the sort of heavily textured body of it because I'm obviously doing a lot of dry brushing, and this way I can just sort of be slapping the dry brushing anywhere, obviously, or where it needs to go, but I don't need to be worried if it is going to go over onto other parts of the model. Then I can come back and work on those separately, and probably with the wings, even though they have a lot of texture there, and I could do a lot of dry brushing, I'm probably going to do a mix of, there'll be dry brushing and there'll be washes as well, to be able to pick out those bits.
I like to block out my colors so I can know a little bit more what I'm doing color-wise.
Kind of get a feel for the tones across the model before you start.
Because if I have all the medium colors down, I can always bring it lighter or darker, but I can also come up with how I want shadows and highlights and stuff to go.
Sure. I think that is the great thing with big models. You've got that. You have the opportunity to work through it kind of whichever way you're going to that you need to.
Oh, Chris says swag from Nathan Fillion's shows. That's cool. I want to go to Vancouver, sleuth around. Give me some Firefly merch, Nathan Fillion.
That would be good. Chris says, a show with full step-by-step prior to paint would be good for lots of people. Everything's like assembly, pinning, mold line cleaning, priming, gap filling. That'd be good.
The day off plus painting Happy Little Minis with a fresh bag of tortilla chips and salsa. I
That
don't
does
think
sound
it
good.
gets any better than that. It sounds delicious.
I just like the idea of a day off.
Yes.
That sounds awesome. Kat says, wow, you've got to fill a gap and he has gone rogue with his paint color. What's happening to our Dave? Too much non-corn pudding. Yeah, it's probably that. It's probably that. I like to keep you guessing, Kat. I like to keep you guessing. There we go. How's that looking?
Very nice. But that is a good idea for a show, Chris. A step-by-step paint show would be nice.
Yep.
For the non-painting parts.
Step-by-step prep show.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to work out what we'd do with that. What we'd do for that. Because we
Watch
could
me
do
I
some...
feel like
struggle.
we did that.
we could do that.
Didn't we do like an assembly show? Oh, literally like 2 years ago.
If it was 2 years ago, I might not have been on the show
I don't
yet.
think you were.
Leona, I forgot to fill gaps last week.
Oh,
You-
yeah.
And you're asking me to remember a show from 2 years ago? Ah!
We did it
no
with
pro-
some of the Star Wars stuff, but I agree.
Ah.
The-
I feel like we should do it every now and then.
I've blocked that whole period out.
Yeah, that's fair.
There was a lot of painting
There's a
of that,
lot of Star Wars.
and I didn't get to keep any of it. That was all given away. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think we did an assembly show
I think
or
it's
two.
sometimes because for a live show, it's a little dry. I mean, painting's dry too.
I was gonna say they are watching us, they're watching
Watching
paint
paint
dry.
dry.
They're doing that of their own free will.
But there's a you can see a very definite visual change.
Yeah.
I think is the thing. Maybe if we did something where you were painting and I was assembling,
There
Okay.
we go.
and then we flip it the following week,
And then I struggle.
and we chuckle. as we're
Yes,
going along.
that's
Or do
all.
that. But no, we would help. We would help. 'Cause that's
I
what
have
we do.
never, guys, I've never been good at putting tiny things together.
Right.
I struggle so much. I had a nightmare once about putting tiny things together, and it would just keep falling apart in my hands. And I was like, oh no, my friend will be so sad.
You need to practice with some Lego. Just do lots and lots of Lego practice. But
That's a good idea.
yeah, I only say that because my daughters have Lego advent calendars. Now.
Cute.
So, yeah.
Well,
I'm working
I'm
on
also
those.
bad at it, which is why for a couple weeks when I was putting stuff together, I was like, good thing I'm not on a show. 'Cause I'm like cursing the minis.
Excellent. There we go. It's
I'm
working
really
pretty well.
liking that lighter orange, Dave.
Yeah, yeah, it's looking pretty good. And I think one of the things that I want to do now to kind of accentuate. Actually, I'm going to see how this goes. I'm going to throw a little bit of ivory in there.
Okay.
So ivory is very, well, it's very pale off-white.
Ivory is the color I'm using currently.
And, oh, there we go.
Which is not nearly so bright as it looks on the screen.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'm liking those base coats.
Very nice. Just some.
Okay, so I've got some yellow there. It's still got a bit of orange. And when I threw this, there we go.
Just says, isn't cursing part of the project process?
Process.
And I believe that is a yes.
It can be. It can be. It doesn't have to be. But many people like to include it.
Oh yeah, that could work. Richard says one of you could paint an assembled model while the other one assembles the same model.
Ah.
I feel like that'd become a
And include
competition.
basing with the painting, so like then it would be finished.
Yeah.
I'm liking
Let me
that.
try that. Yeah. How's that looking there? Cool.
Chris says the biggest part of my process is gluing myself to myself.
That's an important step.
It is an important step. We all know because super glue was originally designed to glue people to people,
Yep.
or parts of people
Skin.
to
Skin to skin.
Yeah, I was gonna say parts of people back to the people.
So you both
themselves.
chose like the strangest way to say it was used instead of stitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's much more fun to say. We're not that far away from Halloween.
Do you miss Halloween that much?
Well, no, it is just the idea of gluing a part of a person to a different person is a very Halloween kind of thing.
Ooh.
So,
Glue doesn't stick unless blessed with the litanies of doom.
yeah. There we go. Okay. I think I'm going to leave the dry brushing there. That's working quite well. And I'm going to use some of this umber wash. I'll give that a run. I'll try to get all of the paint out of this brush. There we go. Okay.
Can't tell if these are supposed to be bones, but I read them as bones in my brain. So they're
Move that
bones now.
aside. Move that back to there. Where are we going? Where is it? Okay, this area is where I should put it. So yeah, some of the from the Game Wash range, some umber wash. And I think this. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there we go. This might be the point where I point out that that umber is something that obviously people struggle to cook with. Because it's either raw or burnt. There's no, like, medium umber. Well done, umber.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Interesting look there. And I'm actually going to just add a little bit of... should I do this? Yes. And add a little bit of this heavy green, which is a paint. Do I need to shake this a little bit more? I haven't used this before, so I think it's a really good shake. And what I'm going to do with this is not actually use it like a wash, but more of a glaze in some of the kind of the segment lines. Where's that maximum for some umber? So using some of these paints, like the washes and the heavy opaques that I haven't used before, it's kind of making me feel about think about to the paint night kits.
Oh,
the Whiskers
yeah.
paint night kits. So we've got a nice sort of dark brown, but there's that very definitely that element of green in there.
Real quick, I just wanted to say so long to Kat. Thanks for joining. Kat
Oh,
has to go off
bye,
to
Kat.
the real job.
Okay.
We will talk to you later.
Yep, we'll catch you next week, Kat. Have a good one. Byron says, almost has that Medusa feel from the Clash of the Titans. Yeah, I think these definitely have that. There is a very much a Ray Harryhausen kind of feel to it, for sure. So what I'm going to do here is just in the shadows underneath, like around these scales, just pop some of this in. So putting the, including the green in there and painting it over the red, just is going to deepen the contrast.
Well, and they're also opposite colors on the color wheel,
Yep.
which I think will look very
So-
fun.
Hmm?
I think it would look nice having the opposite colors on the color wheel.
Yeah, yeah. It does that. It's going to get giving me a tonal and a hue contrast. So doubling up. And if this was shiny, and the wash I was putting on was matte, it would also give that
Three-way contrast.
Three-way contrast. Yes. How awesome would that be?
Should probably say what a difference between a tonal and a hue contrast are. Now that it's been mentioned.
What's that?
So it should probably state the difference between a tonal and a hue contrast now that it's been mentioned.
Oh, probably should talk about that. Should I do that? So tone is how dark or light something is.
Well, hue is the color.
Yep. Exactly. What's that game by the op? Is it?
It's literally hues and clues.
Hues and
Hues
clues?
and clues.
So yes, if you wanted to learn much more about hues.
That was a fun
Hues
game.
and
We did a
clues.
playthrough of that. We streamed that.
Yeah.
Leona and I did.
Oh, cool. Excellent. I'll have to check that
There
out.
is video of us playing Hues and Clues by the op.
Excellent. There is also another game, but I can't remember who makes it, called Pantone. And I'm guessing then it was all about Pantone colors. But I can't be sure. So, just by starting to put some of that greenish brown into the shadows there, getting a lot more contrast sort of coming out. It's still looking glossy at the moment, but that'll dry matte. Yeah. I like to do that with when I get the opportunity to get that hue contrast as well. You'll often see me talking about it in when we check out the miniatures from the group. Can anybody remember my favorite one to point out? No? Blue and orange. Blue and orange. So with this, because I have a lot of that orange there, I could actually start to move this green into more of a blue sort of hue, which would work well as well. So lots of fun there. Okay, just checking out there. Byron says monochromatic. Monochromatic. What's that in reference to, Byron? Oh. Josh says Hues and Clues is awesome. 100% will get a copy. Check out your local gaming store. See if they have a copy on the shelves. What's the date today?
It is the third, I believe.
Third.
Also, a really great game to play with kids, by the way, for those of you who have little mini gamers at home.
That's good. Oh, speaking of gamers, so it was my daughter Lucy's 9th birthday on Monday, and one of the gifts she got was a copy of Throw Burrito.
Yay!
Yeah. And the first time she threw the burrito, she knocked over some Lego constructions that are on the entertainment center.
Oh, no.
So we've had to be very careful since then. But yeah, that's definitely a lot of fun. First time my wife played with her, the very first time my daughter had to throw a burrito, she picked it up and winged it across at my wife and smacked her right in the eye.
Oh no, but it's kind of soft.
They are soft, yeah. She wasn't injured at all, just incredibly surprised and startled. So I was like, try and aim lower. Maybe not at the head. But
I really want to play that game. I think I might get it for my cousins.
yeah, you
I'm
should
like a
definitely do
little
that.
sad
I
that
like how you
can't
say
see
get
them
it
in
for your
person
cousins and not
so that
just
I
buy
can
it for
throw them.
yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say, Gretchen?
So I love how you say get it for your cousins. You could just buy it for yourself.
That's true.
Party game.
Yeah. You're an adult. You can buy stuff for yourself now.
I do this thing where I buy people things I want
Sure.
and then keep it.
Oh, okay. I'm
So
really sad.
what I mean is I'm gonna buy it for myself, but it's
Yeah.
an excuse. I'll say, oh, it's for my cousins. I'll just never give it to them.
Right. That was why hence the line. It's a shame I'm not going to see them very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all working together.
Found out. That's funny. Yeah, if that's what you need to do. Sounds like a plan. I'm 100% behind that.
Chris says that is a no drinks at the table game. Which I would agree with. No snacks.
Yes. No snacks at all.
Not in the nice part of your house. Not that I have a nice part of my house. Not where the breakable things are.
Yeah. But no, it's definitely we had a lot of fun.
That's so good. I'm
Absolutely.
glad that she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, David Moffat says tank's done.
Oh, cool.
Now for
Excellent.
the ultra satisfying step of peeling off the blue towel.
Blue tack.
Tack.
Because what I'm guessing is that David has used blue tack for camouflage sort of stuff. So you spray down the base color and then put blue tack on, depending on what your camouflage pattern is. Put on shapes, press it down, and then you can spray over the blue tack and the rest of the model. So the rest of the model the color will change to whatever the next spray is, and then when you peel off the blue tack, the color underneath will be revealed.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah. Definitely neat. So I'm hoping that's what Dave's done. Otherwise, I'm confused. But Josh also says, you work in the industry, you don't have to make up excuses for buying games.
I know.
Yep.
But excuses are so fun.
It's much more fun than saying, well, it's for research.
It's for research. I
Good
need to throw a
researching.
burrito at your face. For research.
Yeah.
So many games at home for research.
Yes. I think most of my paints are purchased for research. And when I say most, I mean all.
Yes, David Moffat. Dave knows. I know nothing, but Dave knows all.
That's what's...
Josh says,
That's what-
looks at Habba section of my collection. That's fair. There's one that they came out with. What was it? It was called like Cloud Stacking Unicorns or something. And I was like, ages 3 and up. I'm up.
And up.
I'm older than
And
3.
up. I'm up of that.
Sounds perfect.
It's a very cute game.
Cool. Okay. Now I'm going to start doing some deliberate painting on the, rather than sort of the dry brushing, some deliberate highlighting on the snout of this Quetzalcoatl.
I am surprised, Gretchen, to see the red.
Me too. It seemed like it would look nice with the cool tones of the original brown and the blue and the whatnot. And then I was like, oh, tan, that's gonna pop. And then
I think it will look nice because it's the feather part, right?
yeah, it's just the feathers.
Yeah, that's cool.
So like I'll figure it out.
let's take a moment to look at the rest of our
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
miniatures
Let's do that.
from our Facebook group, which
Okay.
people have been posting.
There's
All
been some lovely stuff going on over the last couple of weeks.
Everyone's been trapped inside.
Oh,
Keith
yeah.
Compton with Magneto and Toad from Marvel Crisis Protocol.
How cool do these look? Yeah. Yeah, definitely looking awesome. I'm really enjoying all of the work that people are doing on the beams and girders and that kind of thing that Magneto's pulling around. But Magneto, this sculpt of Magneto is super buff. Super buff. He's got muscles on his muscles. And Keith, I think you're doing a great job of highlighting those. They're looking really good. And I'm loving the shading on the purple too. It's looking very nice. A great sort of connection there with bringing some of that purple onto Toad. And that vibrant neon green on Toad there.
Oh, yeah.
It's looking very cool. But yeah, nice work, Keith. Come along well. Matthew Karpus painted some, I think, is this Battletech?
I
Somebody in the chat
believe
tell me.
so, but he did not say in the
Didn't I say?
description.
We're talking about contrasting colors, purple and yellow.
Woo!
Yeah, looking good. But I'm really enjoying the spot. Some key says those are Battletech. Excellent. I'm really enjoying the spot color of the green there
Yes.
around the canopies. Looking very nice. Yep, looking good, Matthew. Coming along well. Hmm?
I just broke my mini.
You what?
I said I just snapped off a piece of my mini.
No.
Oh no.
Fixable with glue.
It's
Oh, we're-
okay.
I was trying
is
to
it
get on
the,
the underside of my feather
Yeah.
and miscalculated.
Oh. We can. We're probably best to attach that once you finish painting it entirely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I probably should have kept it off, to be honest. But that's my fault. My apologies. Cool. Okay, Michael Ball painted up a female dwarf summoner. That's looking very cool. I think, is this from the Knowles' range as well?
Yeah, it's from the
Okay.
Pathfinders.
Oh, Pathfinder,
WizKids
okay.
line.
The
So
deep
no,
cuts.
not Knowlesers, but WizKids still.
Yeah. No, definitely looking very cool, Michael. I'm liking that. And excellent work on the basing too. I think just lifts it as well. The bright colours against the sort of more dour colours that you paint on a dwarf. Dwarf in rainbow colours. That'd be something unusual to
I
see.
feel like dwarfs would have very rich, because they're underground, they're mining things.
You're thinking they're going for the shifters?
Yeah,
I think they might.
for certain things, not all the things. I feel
No.
like they would have very rich tones, like jewel tone purples and dark reds and
Right.
emerald greens, that kind of.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But no, nice work, Michael. Good one.
Mick Allen. I rediscovered the first diorama I ever attempted back in 1994.
Very cool. Very cool. I think we've talked about some of these, some of the orc miniatures before.
Oh yeah.
Weird boys and mad boys and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So I think the guy on the right there with the blue pants and yellow clothing, or the yellow flames and black boots, that kind of thing. He's a mad boy,
Okay.
but he's also a the clan that he's from is Bad Moon.
Okay.
And the guy with the like his boot up, kicking the other guy off the steps. He's Goff, so Goff, and the guy being kicked off the steps with the camouflage there is a blood axe. But yeah, these minis are all they were metal bodies and heads, and plastic arms and weapons. So, but yeah, I can imagine this to be something similar to what I would have done back in 1994 as well. Nice work, Mick. It's great to find these old treasures.
I know, I was surprised.
Looking good.
Samuel Dollar. Things and stuff.
Things and stuff. Things and stuff. I'm going to guess that this is a Star Wars thing.
Yes.
And maybe a Hoth Rebel stuff. But yeah, definitely looking good. I'm loving the colors on this, or the saturations. So with the face having that nice sort of natural saturation, but then the clothing, the tans and the creams there being very desaturated. Really makes that face pop. Yeah, looking good. And also, all that highlighting on the guns, but still making them, they still look black. They don't look like gray guns, which can sometimes happen. So, yeah, nice work, Sam. Looking very cool. Seth. When I saw this, I was like, yes, that looks really cool. I'm not at all familiar with MODOK or whatever, however, whatever he does in the Marvel universe, because I'm not a comic book reader and just watch the films. But this, yeah, it looks really cool. He's done a great job with that face. Really worked hard for that shading to keep that grimace expression. The different tones. That bottom lip is that little bit pinker. And also the highlighting on the purples.
It looks so good.
It does, doesn't it? The highlighting on the purples, like on his thighs and the knee there, just give it that slightly shiny look. That's something I've been messing around with my Death Guard, but with a bluish green kind of look.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just done a great job here with that purple and the gold. Looking really nice. Excellent work. Oh. So Sean
Gleason, my Luminous Alarith spirit of the mountain is complete.
I was wondering if you're going to stop or if you're going to throw it to me there for a second.
Sorry.
No, that's all good.
Wanted to get it right, or as close to it.
No, you did a good job. Yeah, definitely cool. So the Lumineth Realm Lords are the new, the latest army from Games Workshop for Age of Sigmar. And they are elves, and they're kind of a bit like the old High Elves.
Right.
But they're very definitely commune with nature and with the mountains. So this is as it says, the spirit of the mountain. This is a incredible new model. I think this one stands maybe about 7 or 8 inches tall.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's not a small model. That base is
large.
Not quite as big as the base on the Quetzalcoatl here, but it is definitely huge. So you can imagine the size of that hammer.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to definitely knock some people down. But yeah, Sean's done a really nice job here. I love that the armor panels have a very they have a textural feel to them. I think that's sculpted into the model, but he's painted them in almost a green fields kind of look. So you've got the mountains and the trees up there, and everything then moves into the meadows.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely very well done. Nice work, Sean.
Some miniatures, a bunch of happy goblins doing whatever it is goblins do.
Looks like a class photo. But
It is like a class photo.
Kindergarten. Like the scariest kindergarten you've ever seen.
Yep. Yep. Very, very cool. So I just wanted to note that Josh Potter said evidently, talking about MODOK, said evidently the poor fellow has a flatulence issue. You might need to talk with a GI specialist. But yeah, exactly. Everybody is arrayed for first day of class. But no, these are looking great. I'm loving the just like the continuity of the yellow spot color across the models there. Typically, night goblins all wear like black robes, so that having a few orange and blues and sort of the purples sort of dotted around in there is definitely looking very cool. Very nice. So who painted these? Oh, some miniatures?
Some miniature.
Some miniatures. Who is a new member of the group. Is
Yes,
that correct?
actually.
Yes. Yeah. No, these are looking very cool. Nice work, some miniatures. Great. Steve Evans, another finished commission. So these are Warg Riders from Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
The Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. But definitely look very cool there. Just those little hints of green, goblin or Warg Rider skin poking out there, but a lot of the browns and greys on the wargs themselves, and the also on the basing, you've got those the scattered stonework kind of look there with the drier grass work, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. But no, nice work there, Steve. They look great.
Gotcha. All right, well, that is it for this week.
Oh my goodness.
That's all the minis for this week.
What are we going to do now? I'm done. I'm done for the week.
Are you finished your miniature, Dave? You're already...
Well, for this week. I don't want to race ahead, so...
So I
No.
wanted to jump to Gretchen's camera, just
Yeah.
I
to...
have most of my base colors on. I also, for those of you who didn't catch it, broke my mini when I attempted to very delicately try to paint the underside of this feather, and I thought I had more leniency to kind of wiggle it a little bit. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Horribly wrong. But it's a clean break, and that'll go right back on with some glue.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be
anyone
fine.
check out the lore vids on YouTube for the Lord of the Rings? I don't need to because I live with a Lord of the Rings obsessed individual. So when I have any lore questions, I just I could whisper something about the Silmarillion, and my boyfriend would just appear. We actually watched the Tolkien movie that came out, Tolkien.
All right, cool.
And
Yep.
it's all about him as a young
How was
kid
that?
growing up and meeting his future wife. And
Yep. It's a good...
yeah.
Did
you like it?
It was a nice little date night.
Yep.
But yeah.
It was good.
It was
Yeah.
good?
I did
Good.
enjoy it.
Dave will fix that in post.
Yeah,
Dave
I
will fix it
appreciate
in
that.
post.
Yes. Will we fixed in post? Oh, Mark says, bummer, I missed my mini. Chris says, is Gretchen's mic out?
Again?
No.
Maybe.
Possibly. I don't know. We'll find out. But... So we've got Mark in the chat now. Which mini was Mark's? I'm trying to remember. Was it in the first section? We might see if we can find it and bring it back up. We've got time.
I think he meant that his minis were missed this week.
Oh, okay.
Because I do not have one from Mark. I'm sorry, Mark. I limit it to
Okay.
20, and sometimes I get the ones that are posted on Thursday, but sometimes I don't. So
Okay.
it
That's all
just
good.
depends. I'll try and get you next week.
Cool.
Just repost your picture next Wednesday.
Show it again. Show it again.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, it was a Kraken. But I think, Mark, you were in the banner, I think.
Oh, cool. Oh, was it posted for the banner post?
Yeah, let me see real quick.
Cool.
We try. But
Excellent.
it's like a one-man Leona team.
Yes,
Yep.
that is actually very accurate. Oh, yes, I know exactly what Kraken you're talking about. Yes, it is in the banner. If people want to
Awesome.
check that out.
Very cool.
It's a good looking Kraken. Thank you for posting that for the banner. I'll get it. I'll get it for next week's show.
Cool.
Don't you worry.
Excellent.
We were crackalackin'. Okay. Oh. Okay.
Cracking like. Awesome. There we go. Cool. So I think one of the things that I've done on the head here is that the highlighted up the orange and popped some yellow on there as well, so that for the tongue, I'm going to paint the tongue purple. I'll probably highlight it with a little bit of the what's this one? Warlord purple. So at the moment, the base color I've got is Lich purple. But, yeah, just a slightly different look for the inside of the mouth there, rather than going with the red tongue that would probably blend in a lot with the rest of the red. It's got some. You can see there the dry brushing has brought out some really nice texture on the chest plates there. The other side. Now, if you were working with a model that didn't have that texture already built into it, and you wanted a little bit of texture there, you could always do some stippling. So rather than dry brushing back and forth over it, that's my hand signal for dry brushing. Sometimes I do these things without thinking about them.
It's
But-
it's the universal signal
Symbol?
for dry brushing.
Yep.
Sweep
It
away.
is now.
That doesn't
Sweep
mean
away.
that doesn't mean go. It just means dry brush this, please. I'll use that with my daughters tonight and see how it goes. But doing some stippling, if you get a like a old brush that's kind of, let me see if I can put it against. No,
Oh, sorry.
that's okay.
I'm here.
I try to put something behind it that is light. So, oh, there we go, my hand. So it's kind of old and banged up. So you can use that to do some stippling. So it's got some orange on the end there. Stippling just involves you dabbing against the surface. And when you build up layers of color like that, you'll get a great sort of texture to it, which will give it that more of a natural feel. But fortunately, on this model, we've got some nice texture on the front there. I don't need to worry about stippling. But it is another technique you can use on a larger model. There we go. So you can see on the palette there, the Warlord purple is quite sort of bright and magenta-ish. A little bit of a magenta feel to it. So having the Lich purple down as that base color, the Lich purple's got quite a lot of blue in it, which gets that nice hue contrast with the orange. So you're getting a lot of depth out of that when painting these. I keep moving that around a lot, sorry about that. You'd think after 3 years I'd know to keep the model still.
Nope.
Nope, I don't. I'm going to get it wrong every time. I'm just going to add a little bit of ivory again. The final color. I know that, oh, there we go. Excellent. How's yours coming along?
So I have all the base colors down, kind of mapped out what I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back in and start on some small little details, but nothing crazy because I want to save some of that for...
Yeah. I think originally we were thinking that maybe this would be like 3 weeks to do it, but it's possible we might get it done in 2. How crazy would that be?
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted you guys not to feel rushed.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, I think it's...
And kind of do some extra details maybe that you wouldn't normally get to.
Right, yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Especially when
Okay.
it comes to color layering.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I did this, and now I can go back in and
Yeah, I think
change things.
if I'd only done it in one show, I would have just painted the tongue purple and left it at that. But being able to get in there and highlight it with several different...
Right.
There it is. Several different colors.
Woo. That's a big tongue.
It is. Well, it's mainly because the model is so huge.
Yeah.
So, excellent.
They really are big models.
Yeah. Excellent. Byron is asking how much I would charge for a figure that size. Do you mean? I assume you mean to paint it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it.
I would say a decent amount.
A decent amount.
A fair amount. There
Not-
we go.
We're not talking house payment amount, but yeah.
Well, and especially, at least for me, those monsters, they're going to be
Like a
almost like
centerpiece.
showcase pieces, right? Like even though you have your
Yeah.
army and your band, your war band
Yep.
that you'll put together, I think those pieces you're going to spend extra time on.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. They're going to be, they're the centerpiece of the army, or the collection. They definitely are going to stand out. And, so yeah, you want to put more time and effort into them. But, there we go. So at the moment I've just painted that, the little scorpion tail stinger black, but I'll come back and be highlighting that up. Probably end up with a bit more of a bone kind of look to it. But this just sort of tidies it up at the end there for me. I think I might jump into painting some of the green on these, sort of the headdress of feathers. The other cool thing is that I don't know if you can see here, but pardon me, the Quetzalcoatl has, so it's eyebrows. So it's a snake with eyebrows that are feathers. Hey, it's pretty cool. So yeah, you can't really see them, but they're on in this area, of course, where eyebrows would be. But I'm going to paint those green, just like the feathers under his chin, and the sort of the headdress here. So I think once I get those going, you'll be able to see that, see where they are. And because they're against the sort of the darker red in there, I think I'll be going for like a fairly bright green with that. So I'm going to start with this. I'm just going to slide this way. There we go. So this is uniform green from the Model Color Panzer Aces range, or Panzer series. got a fairly looks like it's got a fairly thick consistency, so it should. We'll see how it goes with coverage. You can see on the headdress here, the feathers, where I've when I was doing that dry brushing, then I got some other. It's got some red and orange on these feathers. Hopefully, this green will be able to go over them in one coat. But if not, I'll just go back with some light grey and some white to tidy those up first. That looks pretty good. There we go. What do we got? How whimsical, says Chris. Yes. Winged snake gods with feathered eyebrows. Definitely very whimsical. Oh, that is looking good. Byron says, love that turquoise, Gretchen. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is the turquoise is kind of playing off the furry bits. And that dark red is kind of playing off the feathery bits, and I think I'm going to bring those into the rope slash, it looks like I could almost do it up as beads that are crisscrossing on his little loincloth there.
Okay.
I think that'll be a nice colorful way of adding some color without being like, color!
Right.
As I think you have the color in all capitalized
All right.
letters for this one.
Yeah.
See you,
seeing
Chris.
that.
Chris has to go.
Oh, bye, Chris.
Has to get Sadie to her award ceremony for Irish dance. That's
Excellent.
awesome.
Hang on. For the Under 7 US Open Championship.
That's amazing.
That is awesome. Congratulations to Sadie.
Yes.
Hope
Oh my
she,
gosh,
has-
I would
has
love
a
to
great time.
see that. I
Yeah.
did Scottish dancing
Oh, wow.
when I was
Okay.
in grade school, which is different than Irish dancing, but they're kind of similar-ish.
Kilts are involved in both.
Yeah, well, sort of. Kilts aren't involved in the Irish dancing, but
No, they could be.
they could be, but they don't usually.
But it's one of those things where you move your legs and
Regardless, I love watching the dancing.
but you move your legs and you're oppressed by the English, right?
It's true.
Totally the same thing.
It is very true. And
Ooh.
now I'm jealous because I wish I was in the U.S. Open
Yeah.
Highland Games.
Excellent.
Josh says it's
Okay.
only whimsical if you put a hat on it.
If you put a hat on it. Excellent.
Oh, and with your conversion skills, it's possible.
It's possible. Are we thinking a top hat?
I think so.
I was hoping it was going to be a bowler. Bowlers are a little bit easier to convert. Unless, of course, we go for like a Abraham Lincoln stovepipe. There we go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, tonally I'm going to have to work with that.
You don't love it?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
There's some other things I need to do around it to get it to work, I think.
It's not your favorite? The green?
Not yet. Not yet. A little bit of work to do, but we'll get there.
How about a beret?
Are you saying the beret is going to help them? My feelings about the green.
Yeah, maybe.
What color beret are we talking? Are we talking like a burgundy, like a
Beret.
raspberry beret? Or-
Yeah. Then it's full circle.
Oh my goodness. Yes, I don't know. I think it might be I'm not sure a beret would work. Then again, I'm not sure a top hat would work, but top hat somehow feels fancier. This uniform green is looking really lime on the camera. But I think some judicious shading with dark green and bluish tinged washes will help that quite a bit. Because the shape of this, you got that very spherical shape of those massive feathers. I think it's going to take some some good shading where I can have yellow, almost white up the top here, all the way down to a deep blue underneath. And I do have to remember to take it home and fill it with putty. In the back here. Maybe I just have to work in something a little bit differently with the wings, rather than going from like a proper rainbow across them. I'll have to think this through.
So we're coming to the end of the show,
Okay.
and I thought it would be nice to hear what you are hoping to do next week. Like, what are your plans?
Okay. Gretchen?
Well, next week I think I would like to finish. I kind of made like a little bit of a wash with the dark sea blue so that whenever I go back and I dry brush on this, it's gonna really enhance the fur. So that'll dry, and I'll probably go back through and add little bits and whatnot to it, and then probably work on getting the loincloth done, because that, I feel like once I have that done, it'll be easier to paint other things.
Sure.
As it has like the necklace and stuff in front of it. And
Yep.
I can, if I mess up, then I still have painting on the skin to do. So I can, since that's going to be a relatively dark paint, I can have time to fix that. But really get this fur done, and then get the leather bits figured out. And if I still have time, probably start working on the skin and save the face for last. Be like the final moment. But
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's looking really great. I love that that deep, you say deep sea blue?
Yeah.
That's a great wash to be putting on that, for
So
sure.
I think that'll be very I think it'll just make the contrast look nice. I just like blue.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Looking good. Very nice. Excellent. So for me, really, it's the... I know it looks wild and crazy right now. It won't look as wild and crazy by the end of it all next week. I think what I'm going to end up doing is the wings will end up going from a yellow through green to blue to purple. So I won't start all the way at red and orange, but just start sort of yellow, that sort of thing. So I've got to mess around with that from the back. So it might go green into yellow and then back to green as it works its way across. But I think the important thing for me is going to be getting the feathers of this. I keep calling it a headdress because it just really has that feel. Getting those right first, and that will help kind of inform the rest of the painting across it. So next week I'll probably be making it up as I go along.
That's the spirit, Dave.
That's the technical term. Yeah. Don't worry, folks. I haven't been infused with the spirit of whimsy or anything like that. But I will experiment as we go. Because when You can see here with some yellow, bright yellow mixed into this. It's going to start to... I must admit, it's just looking even wilder and crazier now, isn't it? But I think as I bring that down into the feathers at the back here, it's all going to work out. I have faith. Whimsy from the Christmas spirit? Nah. I don't think so. I think I'm going to take a leaf out of Gretchen's book here with that the deep sea green wash, and
I actually put some on the brown just to see what it looked like, and I kind of feel like if I do a little bit, it has like a sheen to it. I think I might be able to do a little bit of that moonlight effect.
Okay. Oh.
With that, because it doesn't take away the brown, but it does just enough to where if I bring up the contrast I have a little bit of a silvery kind of white just in the fur bits. I don't know. I'm going to play.
You can play with it.
I'm going to also just throw it. I have been so mean to this poor Minnie.
Yeah. It's been fine. It'll be all right.
But I feel like it'll be an interesting kind of possible effect. I like the idea of it definitely having that kind of otherworldly appearance to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think it's going to look great. Very nice.
All right.
Cool. And that's us for today.
I know. It's so weird not having a finished mini. Except for all the times that we had unfinished mini.
I'm finding it liberating.
We don't have to worry about it. I can show you.
I'll be super cheerful this week.
Look, we have whips.
Yes. Check out my whip. Yay! Actually, I don't know if I was to just say it has white feathers on the wings. I'm done.
I still have more paint on more of my mini than you.
This is true. Yes, you have paint on all of your mini.
Not all of it. I didn't put the metal color in for the chain because I feel like that's also something to do last, just with the angles.
Right. Yep. That's fair.
I'm just going to set that there.
Yeah. Let's put our minis down.
And on that note, thank you all for watching. Remember, we have links up for charities that support our friendly local Native people of Baltimore, because bet you didn't know, but we do. Yeah, that's all we have.
Yeah.
Next time, we're gonna try to finish these.
Try to finish these, and we'll be talking to Nelson from Mythicos Studios, who's been working with Warlord Games.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Dave.
And we'll see you at your friendly local game store.